Please, Facebook, permit me to use this music to entertain my fans. I have no copyright over it. Thank you.
Izo, ibegbele mi pepe bi izo ke from ogbele mi. Meju adakaboro me be pepe gbele na prie. Izo ke mi kri na lade. Mondo do tarwer wenye para twa de do prie. Ni kun bolo godo. Ibegbele mi pepe ba bara po mon mo tumo. Chief Timi Alaibi el para po mon. Comrade PZ Aginia, el para pomom. Comrade Whiskey, el para pomome. Kememan para pomotumo Charles Taylor, Tari Thomas, el para pomome. Commander Jai, Ogodobrido el para pomome. Commander Sonny Clark, Niger Delta Defense and Security Council, War Zone, el para pomom. Chaso musukupa me isokomi segbadaye ani peken mara Prince Angbari Erbo alias Kakas para pomo me kimi se izo mebo mentor finna kedodo na arwani bo alias ni ai begbele me pepe begbele na ki izo wal bolo mo segedo to an mi ere owe yo se izo mebo me be pepe na na kimi se na babu bana ke na abodia
Before we know who will get for the read yourself, my Kiruki don't do this. Net of the stuff, one of our customers. Where are you people? Come to school. But where are you? I'm already inside here. Before we know, Yapuru now, you will have I'm going to go to in my brother.
I get one interview with these people there. You get one history where they bring in. So
Murderous tendencies of the Fulani Janjaweed. But here we must do so. But first of all, let us pray. And I will pray in the language of heaven, the oldest language on the face of this very earth. Eze onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, eze ndị nsọ, onye anyị na-aja mma wee na-eto wee na-agọzi aha nsọ ya mgbe niile, onye ọ bụ naanị ya nwee ike niile, onye sitere n'okwu ọnụ ya sọsọ wee kee ihe niile bụ ihe kere eke n'ụbọchị nke taa, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ usuu niile nke ndị agha, Chineke nna nke ụmụ ogbenye, Chineke nna nke ndị Biafra, Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye anyị na-aja mma, onye ndị mmụọ ozi na-efe, onye mmụọ na-erubere isi, onye mmadụ dabere n'ahụ ya, onye ọ bụ naanị ya ka ndị okenye na-atụ mkpọ ọlaedo na mmasị n'ọdị nsọ. Ndị Igbo otu ga-ebighị ebi, n'ihi na eboghị mmadụ eboghị mmụọ, ịbụ Chineke nna. Ọ bụ naanị gị ka anyị na-akpọ, ka anyị enweghị iche ọzọ ewezụga gị. Anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ọ bụ aha gị ka anyị ji aba mba were n'anya isi. Ihe niile nke anyị bụ n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ site na amara gị, onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna. O nweghị onye ọzọ ewezụga gị Chineke. Anyị wee na-ekele gị na-asị gị biko bịa ọsọ ọsọ na ndị unu abatawa ụmụ gị n'ime, ndị ekworo karịrị akarị n'ime anyị. Nna nke ebere dị ngọzi, were amara gị na ebere gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị gị. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị ka iwe mee ngwa ngwa n'ihe na Fulani abatawo anyị ime, ma ọsọ ọsọ gị onwe gị bụ eze ebube dị ngọzi ka iwe zọpụta ndị gị. Ndị niile kuniri si na ha bụ ndị iro Biafra, ndị niile ka ha rabụ ndị kuniri wee na-agba anyị mgba, ka ha bụ ndị pụtara na nna nke ebere dị ngọzi si na Biafra agaghị adị, ndị dị etu agaghị adị. Onye nwe m, ihe ga-abụ nke ha. Ọgba aghara ga-anọ n'etiti ụtụtụ ehihie abalị, mkpụrụ obi ha agaghị enwe ezumike. Ị ga-achụghachi ha azụ n'ihere nke onwe ha. Ha niile bụ ndị kuniri wee na-akpagbu Biafra. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna, ị ga-ala ha niile n'iyi, n'ihi na okwu ibu ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ma leta anyị onwe anyị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi, anyị onwe anyị bụ ụmụ gị ndị na-anya isi n'aha nsọ gị, bụ ndị na-emere ọgọ. Onye nwe m, bụ ndị na-achị iru gị mgbe niile, bụ ndị sitere n'aha ha na-abụ ụmụ ha wee na-enye aha nsọ gị otuto. Anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị nwe ezi ịhụnanya ebe nzọpụta gị nakwa. E mere mgbe ị na-asị na nke dị sọ na anyị ga-ebuli aha nsọ gị elu,
Chineke nke igwe anyị ga-aja gị mma. Onye kere eluigwe n'ụwa anyị ga-akpụ isi ala nye gị. Anyị bụ ụmụ ogbenye onye nwe m. O nweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị bụ n'iru gị n'ihi na ọ bụ anụkpa ahụ ka anyị bụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ kama na okwu nsọ gị na-anọgide ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ihere pụrụ ime mmadụ dị ndụ na nke bere dị ngọzi kama ị gaghị ekwe ka ihere wee mee okwu nsọ nke gị n'ihi na ọ bụ okwu ka iji wee kee eluigwe maka elu ụwa. Okwu nke i kwuru, nkwa nke i kwuru anyị, okwu ọgba ndụ nke i kwuru n'isi anyị eze ebube dị ngọzi ga-abịarịrị na mmezu na Biafra ga-abịarịrị na nke ebere. Ị ga-emere anyị amara gị n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye enyemaka, naanị gị bụ onye nzọpụta. Ọ bụ naanị gị ka a na-etu Elohim Adonai El Shaddai, onye dị nsọ ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Nara ekele, otuto, nsọpụrụ, ịja mma site n'ebighị ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ka a na-arịọ gị. Ise.
Hello, Biafrans and fellow Biafrans and Nigeria. I will say good morning and good afternoon and good evening. And I will say good night, depending on your time zone. This is Mazes Mezu, aka Nwekwensu. I have my wonderful guest with me. He's a leader. He's a big fish. The Ijaw nation knows about him.
Yes.
Ijaw nation knows about him. He's a wonderful guest and he's a leader. And he will introduce himself when time comes. So, Chief Diplomat, please, can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, my brother Ikeshuku. I am Chief Diplomat Adam Ogomugo Ebimobowe Marbo, the immediate past chairman of the Ijaw Youth Council, IYC Abuja, Northern Nigeria, and I'm the national president of the Niger Delta Progressive Youth Leadership Foundation. Nice to meet you tonight.
Mr. President.
Hello, my brother. You are highly welcome to Fanatical IPOB program. Please, as we welcome you guys, please may you welcome others. Please, as Facebook kick you out, come in. Because I know Facebook is fighting that we must take the message across. So today's program is not about to target some ethnicity, or today's program is not about hate speech. But today's program is about to educate ourselves, educate our people about the history that what happened in Nigeria. It's not about hate speech, and it didn't target any ethnicity in Nigeria. So before I proceed, Chief Diplomat, I have some videos I'm going to play, and I would love you to comment on it. Then we're about to go to our main issue. So the first video I'm going to play is this.
What is your name?
My name is Alexis.
Alexis. Please leave my lecture room. I don't want to see you at one of my lectures ever again.
I don't end.
I am not going to ask a second time. Thank you.
Hello.
Why are there laws? What are laws for? Anyone?
Social order?
To protect the person's personal rights. So that you can rely on the government?
justice? Thank you. Tell me, was I unfair to your classmate just now? Indeed I was. So, why didn't you try and... Why didn't you want to prevent this injustice? See, what you have just learned, you wouldn't have understood in 1,000 hours of lectures unless you lived it. You didn't say anything because you weren't affected yourself. And this attitude speaks against you and against life. You think it doesn't concern you, so it's none of your business. Well, I'm here to say, if you don't help bring about justice, then one day you too may experience injustice, and there will be nobody there to stand before you. Truth and justice lives through us all, and we must fight for it. Because in life and work, we often live next to each other, but not with each other. We console ourselves that the problems of others are nothing to do with us, none of our business. And we go home glad at night that we're spared, but it's about standing up for each other. Every day an injustice happens in business, sport, or on the tram. Relying on someone else to take care of it is not good enough. It is our duty to be there for others, to speak up for others when they cannot. I am here to teach you the power of your voice. I want you to learn critical thinking to empower you to stand up for what is right, even if it means going against what everyone else is doing. Let's begin.
Out of the 15 children, you are going to give birth to 10. You are praying 15 children. We'll give you 10 out of the 15. I collect 5.
Your background is so noisy here.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. The reason is that because we have the program, and I don't want to disappoint you based on our special arrangement of today's program. So one of my brother is having a birthday today. He's with me here, and so they also want me to be part of the birthday celebration today. So as I'm talking to you, I'm with them. So, and they are also so interested on the program. As you are talking, they are also listening to the program here as I'm talking to you. So it's also part of the discussion. So it's a birthday something. Sir.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I want to play the second video. Then I want to make, and I will allow you to comment. Second video I'm going to play.
Biafra war period. That's Nigerian civil war. As a punishment, rich, must not get sense. We want Nigeria kill there. That is the show, Nasona. Want Nigeria kill there.
You will let us out. You build us out.
Want Nigeria kill there. So when I not get sense, now everybody they cry. They target you make yourself a target, so that's why you are falling for it. They never destroy on us. We show you. Finish all of them. Fix political issues. Every issue follows. But there's a number of big fools amongst the Igbos, and I will point them out. You see, if you don't learn from history will teach you lessons they have. Let's get back to the Biafra war. That the Igbos are crying and all that. Shebi, for other parts of the nation, they destroy people, seize their land, seize their.
I don't send a friend with a woman.
A lot of people may not get sense. No, you don't tell them. You went to now. See the caption. Someone accused of demolishing belongings buildings belonging to the Igbo people. Yes, because they don't like Una. What happened to your place?
But now I have to tell me
all these Igbo people full Lagos. They develop Lagos square. Obi Kuba Egypt. They call her e-money and some not not even get building for a village. Now go to Alaba market, Alaba international market. Now able people get big stores for there and all that. Now they develop, now they add to the economy of that place. Let's go back to Area market, my favorite market, Area market. When rain, small rain fall, everywhere go dilapidate. It go be one kind. Una not fit develop una. Why crying? Tweet. Now the Kanu lawyer, the cry say, Shonwolu, they targeted people. If you want to say you want to eradicate people from Yoruba land, from Lagos, make it talk. You know, the action is telling you this. Why una not go see with all the money una get? You see one thing, if you have money or if you have brains, you cannot use it to your advantage. It becomes a cost. All the money that will be Cubana get, all the Cubana ship, please. Una not get money, una just all of you are just una be big fool because you guys cannot go. You cannot go to your village and make your place attractive for that people to come. Shaping people they make Lagos very attractive where people they run to go Lagos. Why can't you go to your village and make your village? Ask you one question. Show me when you want a Hausa man when you get huge investment for Lagos. No, all their investments are back home. Kaduna, Nasarawa, Kanu, and all that. Even see Lagos as a farmland where you call hustle, temporal, your main source, everything. Again, we see how people that are sensible. We say they follow this plan. So why would they cry? Why would they cry? Majority of people with Lagos, they don't guess they be fool. I see one post one time when the P Square brother say the road leading to his house. He want the road, but politics, the politicians not agree because they don't shop money. Are you from Lagos? Are you from Lagos? Why they not go do that one? What? So you are from the north, from the east. You only go to your villages for occasion, burial. Some of them say people go for festive season, like Casey talk say now when he released that in album, that in generation praise generation, Casey praise say when he go village for Christmas, now you get inspiration. So you can get inspiration to perform to perfect your art by going to your village. Why you not stay there? But no, una demonize una come. They never scatter on party rich. Shawolu, please target P Square, target Obi Kubana, chief priest, e-money, all these idiots scatter their house. Blessing see you owner to start war, problem, tribal war, because we won't start tribal war. Wait till una go talk, una no talk. Wait till una go talk, una no talk. If Shawolu they do what they do, he's working with a master plan. They don't like una. Why not all those resources that you guys have? Why not go to your locality and beautify it, make it attractive? That one say go bring customers, go bring investment. People go to come. Now they not gonna go that side, they go to come. Again, they not like us for Lagos. Is Lagos your land? We understand this is one Nigeria. Okay. But the government now supports tribalism because that's what is going on. Why don't you use what you have now? Use this to your advantage. Go back, carry all those on a nonsense house, your property, move back home, develop your home, develop your home. Even in America, politicians, celebrities, they feel buy house for what stops you with all the plenty money una zona get? Okosha, all of the all of you are just blessed. See you on a big fool. All of una just be fool. What stops you from going to build estates, apartment complexes, people rent them? That's still money for you too, for your place. Because
okay. Okay, my brother. I hope you watch the video. What can you comment about the two video I play? Mostly the last one.
Wait, let me send that to.
Let me say, my brother, if you look at the last speaker, there are some statements I will agree with him. There are some other statements I disagree with him. You understand? Believing in one Nigeria does not stop Igbo people not to build structure in their own land. As a German, as a man who also believes in the Niger Delta, we always encourage our people to build their structure at home. You cannot tap our resources and build those structure outside of our home. And then we are talking about infrastructure, talking about industry. So which I believe some of his statement is directly going down to the Igbo nationalists for them to build their structure back home. I think I supported him for that because that is one of our major argumentation as the Niger Delta agitators. So I believe that is a good moral lesson that leaders of the various ethnic nationality should build their structure back home. Because if you don't develop your place, nobody else will do that. So I believe that the only way for us to get development in the Igbo land, in the Ijo land, in the Shekiri land, in the Robo land, in Bikwara land, in Ogoni land, to make sure but few, most especially from the southeast geopolitical zone, the south geopolitical zone. If you can realize some of our agitation as Niger Delta, we also point fingers, accuse the IOC of manipulating the resources they got from the areas and build structures in the outside of the operational areas. So I believe every rich man, whether you are from Igbo nation, whether you are from Urobo nation, whether you are from Ijo nation, whether you are from a Shekiri nation, we must build our structures in our home. That is part of development. Today, look at Lagos. Lagos is now becoming the concept because of, if you want to count the houses in Lagos today, I will argue and at the same time also to tell you that most of those structures, whether Banana Highland, Victoria Highland, whatever, these structures are from outsiders, not Lagosians. If everybody that have their building in Lagos remove their building back home, Lagos becomes empty. So I believe that the most important part of it is bring development back home. Don't carry your resources in your land and build structure in outside of your land. Then what of the development are we crying for? But in the aspect of using it as a point of mocking Igbo, that you believe in one Nigeria, you believe this, look at what is happening, that the Sowolu should destroy more house, destroy this. I disagree with that statement. That statement is condemnable. I condemn it in totality. Because those who build their structure there, they have done that. It is right time to encourage them that look, those structures they have put in outside of their land is the part of underdevelopment of where they come from. So I don't think Yoruba man will carry resources to go and build structure in Igbo land. It's impossible. Because one, they are more civilized to know that development is when you build your structure in your home, build your industry in your home, that make you to get the expected and needed development people are agitating for. So on that note, like people like us from the Niger Delta, for instance, or some people said the Niger Delta people does not like Igbos. So I believe that the best thing, I want to just excuse my people small so that I can have more area to discuss with you very well. So I think the best thing to do as a people, we must agree that build your resources, use your, in other words, use your resources to build structure in your own land. That is part of development. Today, people talk about Dubai. The Dubai we are talking about today, a lot of structure in Dubai belong to foreigners, not the citizens of Dubai that have every structure you are seeing there. So I believe if truly we are talking about building structures in our homeland, bring development back home, should be the mindset of every visionary leader. And I want to also say this because of our new generational leaders. The mistake that our leaders has done should not be part of our own generation. Yes, for business purpose, you can get some areas of, some will tell you, some will disagree with you that because of business, and if they build that structure there in their community or in their village, it will not generate the kind of money they expected to be. So we argue with that. But the most important part is that those people who also have this structure, these places are also described as budget. Those places are also places that you cannot measure. But for instance, look at Lagos. How did Lagos become so economically viable today? Lagos were not Lagos, but it is the resources from the Niger Delta that make Lagos become Lagos today. Because all the OIOC headquarters either located in Lagos or one northern state. Then their subsidiaries, the branches, will now be operating in the Niger Delta. So when it comes in terms of employment, because the headquarters is located in Lagos, it gives more advantage in terms of human resources management department in the IOC to employ more of their people. For instance, today, and that is some of the things that precipitated the agitation of the Niger Delta struggle. People today are demanding that more advantage should come to where they belong to. For instance, as Niger Delta, what is our route of agitation? Our route of agitation is simply because we need a standard way of living for our people. And how do we want it? How can employment come? How can empowerment process come? And for instance, the Niger Delta people, where the production is taking place at every moment and every time, the people suffer more. Why did they suffer? For instance, when we talk about the oil, the Igbo people also have two states that produce oil, which is the Abia and Imo. Then that is the southeast geopolitical zone out of the 5 states that belong to Igbo ethnic nationalities in the community of Nigeria. Then in the southwest also have one state that produce oil, which is the Ondo state. Then the 6 states that is made up of the south-south geopolitical zone, they all are producers of oil. It is only Cross River because of it's best known to those who went ahead and signed agreement with the Cameroon government to see the way the Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon. So that to tell you that some of us today, we argue and argue. For instance, today, that I mean that I'm speaking, I do not belong to any political party. I am not a politician, but I'm just an activist. I am agent of social change, which I believe that my people need to live a better life. With the economical power that's situated in our environment, nobody can describe us as a poor people because our resources have been shared away across the 36 states. And that's why most of the agitation of the Niger Delta people and Ijaw people in particular, most of our community as an Ijaws are situated in the riverine areas, so far away from the development structures. When the upland are big getting development, the next thing they will say, those places are swamp riverine area that they cannot do development. Who said so? Who says that the development cannot take place in the swamp land? The resources in that place is enough to create that development. For instance, look at Lagos. The Lagos we are talking about, Lagos today. The resources of the Niger Delta were used to build Lagos. Lagos Road were constructed. Victoria Island, Lagos Mainland Bridge, to mention. It is the resources of the Niger Delta.
Okay, my brother, please, I think let me stop you here, Bruno, because if I allow you, you will explain and you're making a lot of points, but we'll get to that. But what I want to say, because about the last video from our brother, my own objective view, you see that guy? That guy is 100% right. For me, that young man is 100% right. He's just saying the bitter truth. He is just saying the bitter truth. The area you say that he did not agree with him, no, I disagree. Because if you go back to our forefathers, Ahmad Bello told Zik and Awolowo, let us understand our differences before this independence. That was the comment from Ahmad Bello. Let us understand the differences. The reason why that guy spoke the way he spoke is a bitter truth. Because he has seen the events of Nigeria year to year, month to month, week to week. Okay, now I want you to take a look at this video. This video before 1960. So you have to agree with me that young man is just saying the bitter truth. There's no mistake for what you just said. I want you to listen to this video. Where is it? Hold on. Okay. Now let's listen to Ahmad Bello. This was before independence. That will tell you that young man did not make any mistake.
I've been here is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it, obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. And I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first. If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, as far as I can foresee, because it will be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions, coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
Doesn't this damage the idea, sir, of all people in all regions in Nigeria being fellow citizens of one country?
Well, it might, but you are, new to our region, but how many northerners are employed in the east or in the west? The answer is no. And if there may be 10 laborers employed only in the two regions.
So now, my brother, you will agree with me that that young man was right for what he said. This is our founding father, Ahmad Bello. This statement was before independence. Look at what he said. And again, I respect Ahmad Bello. I must be honest. He said to Zeke and Awolowo, let us understand ourselves. Let us understand our differences. But Zeke being our brother, Zeke made a lot of mistakes. Zeke wants a larger Nigeria. At a point, Awolowo advised him, but Zeke refused. And this is the outcome of what Ahmad Bello was saying. This is the outcome. And I want you to also know, when they say Igbos, it's not only me, it's also to you. Because in 1975, Monetara Mohammed made a coup against Gowon because an Kalabari man was nominated as NNPC grouping manager, Mr. Udo. And he said it's a security risk. So they refer us as an Igbo. So a lot of people have imposed me. I said, no, it is time we start admitting the bitter truth. And that goes a long way. So let's forget the manner or which way the guy presents his statement. But for me, what that guy said there is 100% truth. I thank him, I appreciate him, and I want people like him to come up and speak so that we should be learning in a hard way. That is the fact. And did you have anything to say about the comment from Ahmad Bello before we go to our main issue?
All right, thank you. Listening carefully with the statement of Sir Ahmadu Bello, you see, that is why I said that the mistake of yesterday can be corrected by the new generational leaderships. Yes, let us be frank to ourselves as a people. With what Nigeria is today, it is the political class, the elite, who lack the vision to build. Today you can blame Nnamdi Azikiwe. You can blame him. But if that man is alive, if you ask him a question, it can also let you to understand the reason. There must be a reason for him to stand for Elijah Nigeria. There must be a reason. I want to also say that the statement of Sir Abubakar is sentimental statement, very sentimental, where he said the Northerners are not monks in the civil service. And that statement also characterized the present of Nigeria today, whereby when you go around to the Federal Civil Service Commission, you see all the Northerners being flooded by all the ministries and departments. Will you also blame Sir Ahmedu Bello? The question is that the Northerners have realized that the only way for them to get what they want in the country is to work together in terms of unity. The question we need to ask ourselves here, as an Igbo man or an Ijaw man, our people in the government house, do they really believe in the unity of their people? If they, for instance, now, there are for our people that have been given appointment, what is their strategic agenda? Did they really have a strategic agenda? They are just after what can benefit their pocket. That is why we are having some issues today. If the Northerners can protect their interests and defend their interests at enemies, and what stops our people not to defend their interests? Yes, I agree with you also in some area that the Nigeria independence today is described as flag independence. Why? Because even our brother Nnamdi Azikiwe, who were being the first president of the country, we have been described as ceremonial president because there was no unity among the old eastern region and the Midwest. So if you want to look at it, for instance, my brother, the blame will still go back to the people of the southern Nigeria, because the amalgamation people are talking about today, the 1914 amalgamation is the purpose of bringing the Northern Emirate and the Southern together to form a federation. But looking at the issues of the country, I may ask a question today. How do we have three major languages in Nigeria? Three major languages in Nigeria. The Northern that has 19 states used to be one language, Hausa Fulani. Is it not so? Then in the southern part of Nigeria, that is made up of the old eastern region and the Midwest, has two languages, which is the Yoruba and Igbos. So there's a conflicting of idea and opinion between the Igbos and the Yorubas. So these two ethnic nationalities from the southern Nigeria do not have a consensus or understanding within them. Why the Northerners? Will you tell me that in the north, the 19 northern states, is it only the Fulani and Hausa that is language? No, there are other languages in the north. But systematically, they use the Hausa to have a strong bond in terms of communication. Because all of them can able to speak the Hausa, that brought unity among them. But in the part of the southern Nigeria, the Igbo is thinking differently, the Yorubas are thinking differently. And that also affected the sub-tribes in the southern part of Nigeria. So, my brother, what I'm trying to say here is that if Sir Ahmedu Bello could be able to protect the northern interests, what stops Nnamdi Azikiwe and Obafemi Awolowo not to protect the interests of the southern Nigeria. So what I'm trying to say here is that these are mistakes, these are errors. And let me also tell you, the 1960 independence of Nigeria, in combination of the 1914 amalgamation, we are all told to believe that it was based on economic purpose. And you are aware, Lord Lugard, who has the economic interests of the northern Nigeria and the southern Nigeria, is just after what they can benefit from the two part of the country. So, my brother, what we are trying to say here, that's why you see that when I sometimes point finger to our Igbo brothers as Niger Delta, others believe in Biafra. For instance, you believe in Biafra. I believe in Niger Delta. So by looking at it, it's not like you are moving in a road, you are taking a different direction. I'm also moving in a road, taking a different direction. But they all still lies on the same purpose. The purpose is what? Freedom. It's freedom. So what I'm trying to say here tonight is that as young generational youth leaders, we must able to understand the kind of agitation we find ourselves and what is the strategic movement that is involved in such agitation. So people today, you ask them that believers pro-Biafras, why are they supporting Biafra? They will only say because they love Nnamdi Kanu. They love Maji Kanu. That is why they are supporting Biafra. So, my brother, what I'm trying to say here is that the XX of every one of us to go to what we want is what? Unity. And that's why you see Nigeria today. Nigeria were designed by few group of people. And this group of people design Nigeria for their own interests. The question there is that these people cut across all the 6 geopolitical zones. The Igbo are part of it, which the Southeast are part of it. The South geopolitical zone are part of it. The Southwest are part of it. The North Central are part of it. The Northeast, the Northwest, they are part of it. Now, what am I trying to say here? Today, we are talking as people. You ask a philosophical movement in the name of Biafra. I also have a philosophical movement in the name of Niger Delta. But the essence of this philosophical movement is still fall down to what is called self-determination and freedom.
Okay. Okay. Can I come in here, my chief diplomat? I think we will get to this Niger Delta issue. If not today, maybe the next time, because we are going. Because as we are talking, a lot of people are watching, even in group, and at the end of the day, people will share it because you are a leader, and I'm so happy that you say that you don't belong to any political party, and that sounds so great. And whatever we say here will impact in so many people, so many people that don't know the history, the problem. So what I want to point out here before I play a very video that we use for our topic today, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is the only man that I know in Nigeria that said that there is no man that think they had. So now Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so now let's go to the, will I say the basic of our topic today, or the foundation of the problem today about 9066Q. That a lot of people don't know what caused the problem, that generate a lot of problem what we are facing today. And I would like to bring a video from that, from his video. When you want to say something, just raise your hand. I have to pause. You say something short, then we continue. From that video is a journalist, because what we are doing today, people are waking up. He's from a journalist from Delta State. I think it's an Lobo man. It's an Lobo man. I'm so happy that the man stand up to speak the gospel truth. His name is Tony Abolo, or something like that. You know, he's a journalist. So let me bring the video. Let's start from there. And if you want to say something, please, because if I want to say things I know, I don't want people to take what I said, but because what that man said is not an Igbo man, it's an Igbo man, and he have the spirit to say it before us. I said, may Chukwu Kikabema bless that man for speaking the truth. And we said, please, people like that should rise up. Because if we tell our stories, I think that will be the beginning of solving the problem. It's very important. Then look at I bring up the man. Okay. Yeah.
We are going to hear from our very wonderful analyst here, Mr. Tony Abolo. So let's begin.
Well, to be honest, sometimes we're telling this story in a very awkward way. And one, because of, again, the benefit of me being a sociologist, and one of those things you learn is the art of reviewing history and looking at how history is interpreted. Now, we sometimes look at proximate causes, but you must go to the very far back, and that is the area people don't always go into. One, go back to the constitutional conferences when Marbo, Azikiwe, and Awolowo we're going to, with their delegation, going back and front, Britain and here, the Clapperton, the Littleton Constitution, everything we can go in between till we're and the independence. And of course came the arguments, because the North was not quite ready for what we were thinking as independence. And so they said they were not ready. And so it was like the Southern, and consequently, they didn't like the way we were posturing. And looking through history, that's when Ahmadu Bello now kind of cautioned Awolowo and Azikiwe. You know, actually what happened was, I was telling Bello, sink our differences so that we can make Ahmadu Bello said, please let us understand our differences. Do you know pre-60 is still something till today? And until you get the vignettes, you cannot even interpret what has now led into all this agitation. Now, move forward, independent, and cleared away. And then you moved into independence. And we only had independence. And remember, too, that it was even the effort by the North, the NPC, to make an inroad into the Western region. And when there was an issue between Akintola, who was the...
Hello, my brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. Because I changed network. Okay, I changed network because the weather here is not so good. So I don't know it from my side, but I just changed network. So let's see.
I can see that.
So clear. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ahmadu Bello now kind of cautioned Awolowo and Azikiwe. You know, actually what happened was, Azikiwe was telling Ahmadu Bello, can we sync our differences so that we can move forward? Now Ahmadu Bello said, please let us understand our differences. Do you know that statement, pre-1960, is still subsisting till today? And until you get some of these little vignettes, you cannot even interpret what has now led into all this agitation. Exactly. Now, move forward. Came whatever it was, independence, and even before then, there was heckling of when Ahmadu Bello came to Lagos. He was being heckled in Lagos. Then it's like, why are you wasting our time? What the heck? And they didn't like it, and the Northerners didn't like it. It produced one of the first riots in the North. So it is not today we started riots, massacre, killing of people. It started way back before 1960. These are the subliminal issues that were not resolved and cleared away. And then you moved into independence. And we only had independence. And remember, too, that it was even the effort by the North, the NPC, to make an inroad into the Western region. And when there was an issue between Akintola, who was the premier of the Western region, and Awolowo, who was the leader of the party, way back in 1952, there was I think, a conference in Jos. That agitation produced the quakes and quacks that occurred in 1965 towards 1966. And it became a riot of a kind because the two people could not agree. And the Northerners were wanting an inroad into the West, and Akintola seemed to be their point man. And at that time, remember, there was one, I think it was one of the breaks. So we're now looking at Niger Delta. So there was an effort to come into the Niger Delta using bricks, and there was an effort to use Akintola to also move in. And so that division between Awolowo and Akintola exacerbated the crisis in the West till it became an agitation that produced, call it an insurrection. What you are now even talking about today, we also had it then. And what happened? We had this famous Operation Wetier, when they brought the Northern soldiers to come and quell the riot in the West. And remember, as at that time, they were forced to bring one Maje Kodumi, who was a medical doctor, who was the administrator of the whole Western region. And because of this Operation Wetier, when they called them the soldiers, I won't put any tribe to it, when they came, it was so that when you came and you wanted to wage the war, your cloth would not leave your body. It was that bad. And that culminated into all the agitation that brought the bad feelings that eventually resulted in the instability. And when there was going to be this coup, Archbishop Makarios, now late, of Cyprus, he was here. It was the Commonwealth Conference in Lagos. He was trapped during this conference. And he couldn't leave because the coup occurred. I said, whatever it is, the young boys in the army were not too satisfied about the way the country was going. One of the complaints in that January 15th massacre and broadcast had to do with the 10%ers. That is, all the politicians were taking every contract they gave, they ate 10% out of it. So the language was that they were against the 10%ers. They were against. So it's not today we. So it is not today we started this agitation about the politicians dipping their hands in the public tail. It was always there. So they didn't like that, and so when they staged the coup, remember that it was a coup according to Adegboyega, who was one of the majors, who joined Major Onzogu to stage this coup. Now, the story we heard, because we are not soldiers, but the story we heard, and from that, it was called I've forgotten the title of the book, the Five Majors. That was what Adegboyega wrote. And it was trying to tell the story that it was like a nationalistic movement. Remember that time, because of this fracas between Akintola and Awolowo, Awolowo was imprisoned. And part of the story is that they wanted Awolowo freed in order to come and take up some role in government. And so that was part of the reason they adduced. Then you had the reason of
So my brother, Chief Diplomat, I can underline this place, because what we are hearing today, because they are trying to change the narrative, they are trying to to hide the truth by tagging that an Igbo coup. And the first people that say it was Britain, BBC. And this is the genesis of the problem of what we're having today. Because you can hear from Chief Tony, he said that coup was just nationalistic. That's not like Igbo coup. But if you go on media today, you will hear people saying that Igbo want power. Igbo want to be everywhere. That is why they stage a coup. How can you stage a coup where you are already on top? Remember then, Agri-Ulansi was the highest military personnel. The Southeast region was doing fine. The West was doing fine. Although the North was doing fine, and Igbos was on top, on merit, on various office, on merit. But why must people try to change the narrative to target an Igbo coup? And that brings me to this man. He died last year, Chief Guli. No? Yeah. Listen to this man at Okuta panel. What he said. It was.
May understand that coup as an Igbo coup, because over 90% of those planning the coup were Igbos. Is that correct?
That is not what I said.
What did you say?
What I said, that people might take this to be an Igbo coup. But I didn't say 90% was not there.
Why did you say so?
There was no 90%.
Why did you say people might?
I asked Onwa Toegu who are in this. He named certain people. Although he named Ademoyega too, I felt that the Nigerian public, being tribalistic, would deem this as an Igbo coup. I said so. But that is what is called value judgment.
Okay.
In other words, not taking into consideration the facts. Now, if you read that thing down, you would have seen where he said, oh, but we're releasing Awolowo. Do you know what I said? In other words, the Yorubas are using us. You failed to read that one. You read about the thing being an Igbo coup.
I'm interested in the issue.
So, Chief Diplomat, you see
yes.
that man speaking, that was at Okuta panel, is one of the major that participated in 1966 coup, Ben Bully. So with all this facts now, will you tell me, or will you tell our audience that 1966 coup is an Igbo coup?
that the 1966 coup, whether it's an Igbo
coup, yeah? Yeah.
I think there is one northern man, based on one of his books, which I go through, because that 1966 coup, we were not born yet.
Yeah.
Based on the historian book, he tried to mention the reason for the counter coup, and his name is Mazi Sulum, northern soldier, who have listed the grievances and aborted 15 January 1966 coup, which he said it was led to the planning of the counter coup. A list of the grievances which he has mentioned that the murder of northern civilians, leaders, and military officers in the aborted 15 January 1999 coup deterred. And according to him, the 15 January 1960 coup conspirators, mostly majors, are not being tried for treason, were being paid while in detention. And he said the passage of the unification decree, rumor of the Igbo coup to eliminate northern soldiers, the promotion of the several Igbo majors to lieutenant colonel, and the rumors of General Aguirre ethnic favoritism towards Igbos, and according to him, based on his book, plan to swap the first and the first and the fourth battalions, and plan to rotate the military governors of the different regions. And he also, in own book of magnanimity, to listed the name of people who were coup participants at that time, and he titled it as a principal coup plotters are listed. And according to him, one Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Akar, Commander 4th Battalion Kaduna, and Lieutenant Colonel Murtala Mohammed, Inspector of Signal, Lagos. And he also mentioned Major Theophilo Dajuma, Principal Staff Officer, Army Headquarters, Lagos. And he also mentioned Major Habakari, Artillery, Kaduna. He also mentioned Major Manti Adamu, 2nd Battalion, Lagos. He also mentioned Major Sati Alau, Nigeria Air Force Headquarters, Lagos. He also mentioned Major Musa Usman, Nigeria Air Force, Lagos, and Captain Joseph Gariba, Federal Guide, Lagos. He also mentioned Captain Isa Buka, Federal Guide, Lagos. And he also mentioned Captain Ibrahim Tao, Lagos, Garrison, Yaba. And according to him, he also mentioned Captain Baba Usman, GSO, Grade 2, Army Headquarters, Lagos. And Captain Abdul, DS 3 Battalion, Kaduna. And Lieutenant Muhammadu Buhari, 2nd Brigade, Lagos. And then Lieutenant Ibrahim Babangida, 1st Reconciliations Squad, Kaduna. Lieutenant Ibrahim Baku, 4th Battalions. So with this, I'm not trying to buttress the statement in that Oputa.
Excuse me, I think you are talking about the counter coup now. This is what you're talking about. The names you mentioned.
Yeah, I said it's counter coup. Yeah, the counter coup.
No. We are talking about the first coup first before the counter coup. We'll come to that.
Okay, so, you are talking about who are the people that involved in the first coup?
But the first coup. People are trying to narrate it that it's an Igbo coup, it's an Igbo agenda. But from the two people we hear from them now, says that was not like Igbo agenda in that coup. The journalist, the chief Tony, and Ulobo man said it, that it was a nationalistic coup. There's nothing like Igbo agenda. And also, we also hear from the man who participated in the queue, in the first queue. Now, let me also repeat it again, maybe in case. Let's take it back again. Let's hear from Tony again.
But now came the way the coup during this conference, and he couldn't leave because the coup caught him. Now we'll go to that coup. The coup occurred as a result of whatever it is. The young boys in the army were not too satisfied about the way the country was going. One of the complaints in that January 15th massacre and broadcast had to do with the 10%ers. That is, all the politicians were taking every contract they gave, they ate 10% out of it. So the language was they were against the 10%ers. They were against. So it's not today we. So it is not today we started this agitation about the politicians dipping their hands in the public till. It was always there. So they didn't like that. And so when they staged the coup, remember that it was a coup according to Adegboyega, who was one of the majors who joined Major Onzogu to stage this coup. Now, the story we heard, because we are not soldiers, but the story we heard, and from that, it was called I've forgotten the title of the book, the Five Majors. That was what Adegboyega wrote. And it was trying to tell the story that it was like a nationalistic movement. Remember that time, because of this fracas between Akintola, one of the majors who joined Major Onzogu to stage this coup. Now, the story we heard, because we are not soldiers, but the story we heard, and from that, it was called I've forgotten the title of the book, the Five Majors. That was what Adegboyega wrote. And it was trying to tell the story that it was like a nationalistic movement. Remember that time, because of this fracas between Akintola and Awolowo. Awolowo was imprisoned. And part of the story is that they wanted Awolowo freed in order to come and take up some role in government. And
so my brother, you can hear from Chief Tony what he said, that it's a nationalistic movement. The young soldier, due to the corruption in the system and the killings from the west and the south, that middle belt. This was part of the reason this major struck. That was not attached to Igbo agenda on it. No, but the stories they are telling us that was an Igbo agenda. If you ask any young man or young girl out there, just because they took history away from school, they now dish out another narrative that is not accurate what really happened. And now, to back it up with what this journalist said, I want to play one of the major that participated in that queue. What he said, you will see that he said exactly thing that this journalist said. This man is not an Igbo man, he's an Igbo man. Now, let's bring up that Major Guli, the man that participated. I think. Yeah. What is this? Yes. What is this? Hold on. Okay. Okay, yeah, I have it now. Okay. Yeah. So let's listen.
People may understand that coup as an Igbo coup because over 90% of those planning the coup were Igbos. Is that correct?
That is not what I said.
What did you say?
What I said that people might take this to be an Igbo coup. But I didn't say 90% was not there.
Why did you say so?
There was no 90%.
Why did you say people might?
I asked Onwa Togu who and who are in this. He named certain people. Although he named Ademoyega too, I felt that the Nigerian public, being tribalistic, would deem this as an Igbo coup. I said so. But that is what is called value judgment.
Okay.
In other words, not taking into consideration the facts. Now, if you read that thing down, you would have seen where he said, oh, but we're releasing Awolowo. Do you know what I said? In other words, the Yorubas are using us. You failed to read that one. You read about the thing being an Igbo coup.
I'm interested in the issue raised by Ohaneze in your petition, that it was wrong for anybody to assume it was an Igbo coup.
It is wrong till tomorrow for anybody to assume that is an Igbo coup. When that person would have committed what is called value judgment, a judgment not based on facts. That was what I meant.
When you killed all the northern and Yoruba political and military leaders, and you didn't kill your own?
What about Colonel Unegbe? And by the way, let me also explain. Colonel Unegbe was killed in Lagos.
Why?
Not because he did not hand over any key. I'm happy that IBM Haruna, a soldier, is here. He knows that no quartermaster general holds a key to anything armory.
Why was he killed?
He knows he was killed. It's in my book, which I tendered. He was killed because he was accused of making money from his job. In other words, he was a quartermaster general. He was making money from his job. So he was enriching himself. That was why he was killed.
So he was not.
So I want to correct this mistake.
So he was not a victim of that attempted coup.
He was killed.
No, listen. Brigadier Mamalari, Kur Muhammad, and the rest were killed as part of the coup. This one was killed because he was making money. So he was not killed as part of the execution of that coup. Is that what you're saying?
My lord, there were various reasons why the coup took place.
Okay.
There were various, in fact, Hydra-headed reasons why the coup took place. Some people enriched themselves and they were killed. Some people were involved in the killings in the West and the TV area, and they were killed. Some people did a lot of other unsavory things. By the way, they talk about killing, and I'm repeating what I said at Enugu. It was never decided that anybody should be killed.
Now, why was
people disagreed on what should happen? I don't know how many coups you've taken part in, but it is never decided this man must be killed, that person will be killed, but you depend on what you see on the ground.
So if there was opportunity to kill, we kill. What do you mean by you depend on what you see on the ground?
These are soldiers, you know. For instance, if you are fired at, you fire back. All right? It's as simple as that. And I gave an example of somebody who wasn't killed. He was.
Do you know where Sardona was killed along with his wife?
Do you know it's in the book?
Simple.
Why must I?
I told you we need your evidence here.
But the commission here has read my book. If they have not read my book, they probably are reading it now.
Nigerians want to hear what you will say of the reason behind killing Sardona and his wife.
You talk about killing again. I was not the one who went to the house. Even though, I must tell you this, I take full responsibility for the coup of January 66 because it was a collective responsibility.
Very good. Okay, are you aware of the reason from your coup plotters why Sardona was murdered with his wife?
If you don't know the reason by now, then I'm afraid you should go and find out.
My lord,
it's all in my book.
My lord, the witness should be told that he's supposed to answer my question.
You are whipping up emotions. I don't want to get involved in that.
Ask a simple question, simply. It will make us progress. And then when counsel is asking, you have no right to retort.
All right, sir.
Thank you, my lord.
Sorry, my lord.
Now, you said there were always reasons why they kill. Why was, if you know, Sardona killed along with his wife?
Nzogu attacked Sardona's residence. Nzogu, if you read the script, was attacked himself.
And that was why they had to kill him.
Nzogu returned fire. Nzogu, if he were alive but he's dead, would have told you exactly why he did what he did. What we wanted to do was to overthrow the government of Nigeria. To overthrow the government and stop madness.
And overthrowing the government means suspending the government of northern Nigeria, leaving the government of western Nigeria,
you see,
and then deliberately refusing to arrest Ironsi.
Let me elucidate this matter. It is true that Akintola was killed in the West. And then Fani Kayode was arrested and taken to Lagos. That is the RV, rendezvous. Now, when the soldiers got to Lagos, they found that Ironsi's troops had already seized Lagos. And so they ran helter-skelter. And as you well know, some people ran to Ghana, some ran to other places. And therefore, there was no time to declare anything in the West. You should have known that.
And there was no time to arrest or kill Okpara in the East.
Again, we talked about Okpara having been receiving somebody from abroad, a head of state from Cyprus. Macarius, Archbishop Macarius.
You gave that
and he was arrested as soon as, and by the way, one of you was the one who took over the radio station. Even though he's dead again and he can't say his own mind. Now
listen,
it was who took over
listen, my friend, we're not here for stories.
What I'm trying to tell you is
restrict yourself to my answers to my questions, please. Now you
when Major Goody was trying to expose everything, and he tried to stop him and tell you, listen, my friend, we are not here for studies. You see, after this program, those that are tagging that Igbo Q, those on media that are trying to change the narrative, people like Wounded Civilian, people like Udene, that are trying to change the narrative, invite them, let them come and listen, because we shall expose them. With the truth. With the truth. You can hear one from the journalist, Chief Tony, from Delta State and Global Man. Exactly what he was, what he said is what was exactly what Major Blue was also saying. The truth. Then why would they turn around 360 degrees to target an Igbo Q? I say, why? I'm sorry, my guest went off. Maybe the network, I don't know. We hope he comes back. But if he didn't come back, we continue. I hope you guys understand that the reason why the majors struck, the reason why they struck was as a result of corruption in the system of the government. Also, as a result of the killings by, as a result of the by people, because let me not use the word killings because of Facebook, in the West and in the North. This was the reason why these 5 majors struck. And you can hear from Major Gulu say who and who is involved. And when he was told, he said people may think that this is an Igbo movement. And at the end of the day, they told him that their also plan was to media that thing. And their reasons again was to bring Awolowo from prison. And he now said to them, he now said to himself, or to the man that's narrating giving him the story or the plan, are you sure that the Yorubas are not using us? Are you sure that the Yorubas are not using us? Because at the end of the day, the reason was also to release Awolowo from the prison. And a Yoruba major was there too. But they turned 360 degree and say Igbo Q. I hear Tiwo here with the truth. We shall debunk all their lies. Let's continue listening to the man. Let's continue listening to the major.
We gave consideration to the fact that Opara was expecting a guest.
Not expecting, he had a guest.
Yes, he had a guest.
Listen
now,
listen. He was arrested.
Listen to the question. Now, in some of the books written by some of your coup plotters, you had to wait for Sir Ahmad Bello to return from Lesser Hajj to execute the coup.
I wrote that in my book.
Yes, why did you do that? If the intention was not to deliberately kill him.
It is the truth. If you did not wait for him to return, he might bring in troops from abroad, particularly from Saudi Arabia or from any of the Islamic countries.
Why didn't you wait for Dr. Azikwe to come back?
I haven't even thought about Azikwe because, you see, he was so innocuous that, in fact, as far as we were concerned, he was not endangering anybody.
He was not because he is Igbo?
No, not at all.
Why?
There were others who were not Igbos, who were not endangering anyone. What about Awolowo? Was he killed?
Now listen, recently, you know...
So, I hope you guys are following up. We will debunk the lies here. The lies. We will debunk the lie. I hear nobody see. You can hear the cross question. The northern lawyer is asking Major Bully. He died last year. This great man died last year. He said, okay, because Ezekiel is an Igbo man. He said, no. There are others who are not Igbo and they are not killed. And he gave an example, Awolowo. He gave an example, Awolowo. And he was asked again, why did they wait till Ahmad Bello came back from Mecca before they struck? He said yes. Because if they did not wait for Ahmad Bello, he will come with troops from Saudi Arabia, which is true. Today, Nigeria is not a member of OIC. I'm asking you guys. Today, Nigeria is not a member of OIC. And who are the members of OIC? You know, Simon Ekpa just woke up yesterday and got so mad that David Cameron addressed Nigeria as Islamic State. I said, look at Nkoyenka. Nigeria is an Islamic state registered. It was I have said this before. It was Gowon in 1969 that took Nigeria to OIC through the help of Egyptian president and also Saudi Arabia to seek help from them to win the war. It was Gowon that take the first step as an observer in 1969, and they gave him all the help. That's why Egyptian pilots were saw in the Civil War and other countries. Gowon made 2 deals. OIC, joining OIC and giving Bakassi Peninsula out. This is the two deal he made. Bakassi Peninsula, they are people living in the land. He now give them a way to Cameroon. Can you imagine that? Just to win the war, just to defeat the war. And who is advising them all this? For me, it's Britain. It is British government. Then, and when Gowon registered Nigeria into OIC, in 1986, Babangida have to register Nigeria full member of OIC. So Mr. Bully was right that if they did not wait for Ahmad Bello to return, he will come in with international fighters. So let's continue. Chief diplomats, I think he was not able to come in, or maybe the truth is overwhelming or something like that, you know. So, but we must continue.
I know Chief Ajuluchukwu is my brother.
Yes. He recently gave an interview.
Yes.
And he said Dr. Azikwe was aware of the coup, and that was why he left the country. Are you aware of that? Simple.
Say that again, please.
That Dr. Azikwe was aware of the planned coup, and that was why he ran out of the country.
If Ajuluchukwu said that,
it's not the issue. Whether you are aware, that's the question.
No. You don't put words into anybody's mouth. If Ajuluchukwu said that, he is entitled to his own views altogether.
I want to hear your own view. I want to hear your own view.
But I'll be surprised, in fact, shocked if Ajuluchukwu ever said that.
He
but
did.
All the same, I said I will be shocked because you people are prone to, putting words into people's mouths. Now, the thing is this. With regard to Zik knowing or not knowing, we were anti-Zik. If you recall that Nzogo talked to Sakashim Ibrahim, he said these people like Azik, we were and Okbara and others we were looking for. If you recall, and it's written down in black and white in your own books.
That is not the question. The question is simple. Are you aware that Zik knew about the coup, and that was why
How could I know that Zik knew about the coup? I was at Kaduna. I was resident at Kaduna.
How did you know that they killed Tafa Balewa in Lagos?
Say again.
How did you know they killed Tafa, and they could not arrest Iran?
From the radio.
Why didn't you hear this from the radio? You were part and parcel of the coup plotters. You know all those who sponsored you, and you know those who dealt with.
My lord, no coup plotter. My lord, no coup plotter is ubiquitous. It's not everywhere.
You were aware that during the period you were planning the coup, there was Commonwealth Conference holding on in Lagos.
Of course, I know. And even when it came to a close.
And yet you killed Tafa Balewa, you killed Brigadier Maimalari.
He wasn't killed on the day of the Commonwealth Conference.
So my people listen. You can hear the course question given to Major Bule that Zik was aware, that Zik was told, and he said he didn't know that. And for me, listen, I told you again that the Britain played the good, the bad, the ugly. They want to cause the confusion in the East, in Nigeria, and give the power to the North by guns and bullets, and give them all they need and to make sure they tap in the resources, the oil. All those confusion for Nigeria today was as a result of oil they discovered. Because Britain know that in the nearest future, oil will be skyrocketed, and they want to control the oil. Even in the midst of the war, they came to Ojukwu, and Ojukwu said to them, no, the oil belongs to the people. They were playing double head. So, I will not be surprised that Britain also, because they are aware about this coup, I must be honest, the British government is aware about the coup. So if there is anyone that told Zeke, it will be the same British government to make sure that their plan established, to make sure that they cause the confusion. Oh, people will say, okay, you kill my own people. People say, you kill my own people. Why don't you kill your own people? And they succeeded. Let's continue. Because we must say the way it is. Here. Let's continue.
You waited for them to go first.
They were not killed on the day of the Commonwealth Conference. Okay. Let me put this to you, that Opara would have been killed.
Listen, if you have no right to put anything to me, please.
It will take another 4 years before you start putting it to him.
Yes.
You got to go
My
to
Lord,
law
I should have read law. All right, let me expatiate.
I don't want to hear it. You are aware that Brigadier Mamalari was killed on his party's wedding day, the day he was organizing a party for his wedding.
I heard he was killed and I wept.
Very good.
Because this is where I said everybody didn't agree about killing anybody. Okay. They had disagreements. So people were allowed to use their initiative. What you see on the ground is what matters. I wept because he was my mentor. He was.
Do you guys listen? I hope you guys listen. These 5 major, they were all agreed that they will not kill anybody. But whatever you encounter on the ground will determine the outcome. They were all agreed, don't kill. But whatever you encounter will determine the outcome. They are trying to change the narrative to blame it on us. Let's continue.
Captain, when I was an officer cadet.
Now, were you told why Sir Abubakar Tafawa was killed, was murdered, and his body thrown in the bush?
I was even told that he wasn't killed. I don't know. What about you are talking about killing?
Yes, Sir Abubakar Tafawa, you were told he
I know that when some people went to Abeokuta to get armored vehicle and they couldn't, they came back and found Ironsi's troops all over the place and ran away. Those who had the prime minister, I'm told, dumped him in a bush. How they dumped him in a bush, I wasn't told.
No, as one of the coup plotters, did you hear the reason why he was killed?
If you read my book, you see it was zoned. I was in the north.
So my people, are we not making sense now? Are we not debunking all those lies? Are we not debunking all those lies on media? Because history was taken away from school. History was taken away from school so that you guys will not know the bottom line, what happened. Let's listen to the journalist.
Part of the reason they are adduced. Then you are the reason of the 10%ers. But now came the way the coup occurred. Nwafo Rizu, who was the Senate president, was the acting president. Azikiwe took off for whatever reason, whether for health reason or whatever, he was in the Caribbean. And then Nwafo Rizu became the acting president. Then when they staged the coup, the highest person was Agui Ironsi. Now, whether you like it or not, we must go back to the class structure of the 60s. As at that time, it's not what you are now looking at now. The Igbos were more dominant in terms of wealth, in terms of education. Who was the vice chancellor of Ibadan? Professor Kanodike, a historian.
Wow. And we believe the Yorubas, the West, they were more educated.
No. Well, they have their own story. But then, Eni Njoku, who was a biologist, was the vice chancellor.
So, you can see all those lies out there, trying to change the narrative that it was an Igbo coup. You can hear what this man said. The first vice chancellor University of Ibadan, University of Ibadan, was an Igbo man. And all of them were on merit. All of them were on merit. Now, let's bring one question from the Ask Mr. B, what Major Bully said, because we have to wind down. Let's prove this point to them again.
In your book, you tried to state the reasons why you people gathered to organize the coup.
You're right.
Now, thinking back now, do you still regard those reasons as valid?
Very.
Listen for a military takeover instead of a democratic change of government.
Listen.
You understand the question?
The reasons were as valid then as they are valid today. The killings in the West and the killings in TV area prompted, in fact, an action from us. And there were other reasons. Now, other reasons, they're all enumerated in the book I had tendered.
Now, you use the word, the rank colonel now. Now, in your book, you tried to state the reasons why you people gathered to organize the coup.
You're right.
Now, thinking back now, do you still regard those reasons as valid?
Very.
Listen for a military takeover instead of a democratic change of government. You understand the question?
The reasons were as valid then as they are valid today. The killings in the West and the killings in TV area prompted, in fact, an action from us. And there were other reasons. Now, other reasons, they're all enumerated in the book I had tendered. And the killings in TV area prompted, in fact, an action from us. And there were other reasons. Now, other reasons, they're all enumerated in the book I had tendered.
Now, you use the word, the rank colonel now.
My people, I hope you guys understand now. I hope you guys have understood. I hope you guys understand. Understand right now that what caused the 1966 coup. The politicians were corrupt, and the killings and the high people in the West and the North. This is the reason why these young soldiers want to save Nigeria. And these young majors, all of them are not Igbos, but Igbo dominate. At least about 4 Igbo and 1 non-Igbo, or 3 Igbo. I think either 4 Igbo or 3 Igbo and 2 non-Igbos. But the most important thing is that coup was not state managed just to get Igbos in the various office in Nigeria, or Igbos to grab the power. No, because the majority of Igbos were already in power. Agui Ironsi was the highest military command then. Nwafo Olizu was, I think, he was Senate president then. We have about, in Nigerian military, 60% of the military were Igbos. And the guy said the reasons then, we are still the same thing today. Now let's listen to one of our brother crying in House of Senate. The way he was crying in House of Senate. Let's listen to our brother crying in the House of Senate.
were elected. Are we your slaves? How you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves? Every time you keep on picking leadership for us. We are not your slaves. Whether you like it or not, the way you are elected was the way we are elected. We are not your slaves. The way you are elected was the way we are elected. How you can suspend me? You have done your worst, Mr. President. What do you mean by that? You have done your worst. You have done your worst. You have put us to the wall. Thank you. Yes, we'll start with that. Meaning what? Meaning what? Meaning what? Meaning what? It's unfair. It's unfair. It's not about me, not about any person. It's about the institution of Senate. The way you elected was the way you were elected. Are we your slaves? How you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves? Every time you keep on picking leadership for us. We are not your slaves. Whether you like it or not, the way you are elected was the way we are elected. We are not your slaves. The way you are elected was the way we are elected. How you can suspend me? You have done your worst, Mr. President. What do you mean by that? You have done your worst. You have done your worst. You have put us to the wall. Thank you. Yes, we'll start with that. Meaning what? Meaning what? Meaning what?
So people, you can see this happened in upper chamber in House of Senate. It's an Igbo senator complaining that are we your slave? Are we your slave? That the same way you were elected was the same way they were elected. But guess what? Are they elected? No, but all of them were selected. All of them were selected. You can see a senator crying, raising his voice. That is not a slave to them. That tells you that Nigeria is not working. Nigeria is not working. The only solution is slave random. People that want to still belong to Nigeria, belong to Nigeria. People that want to go in the separate way, go to the separate way. To a separate way. Before now, I've played that speech from Ahmad Bello. What he said. We have seen the cause of the first coup was because of the Awolowo and Akintola, and also to the politicians that are dipping their hand in the federal pocket. But guess what? All those things were used against the Easterners, tagging them that they want to grab the power, trying to deceive others. Now let's bring this video up from one of our
an Igbo tribe in Delta. But you are claiming that you are not Igbo. Yet you are angry that Urobo person or a job person or a Shakiri person is saying that you migrated to Delta State, that you are an immigrant, and you are angry. May thunder fire you. I'm the one who is saying it. May it fire you well. May your family deny you. May your children also deny your origin. How can you be angry when they are calling you immigrant, but you are the one denying that you are not Igbo? Why wouldn't they call you immigrant? You want to eat your cake and have it back. Yes, I understood the reason why so many people are denying they are not Igbo. There are Igbos in Kogi. There are Igbos in Edo. There are Igbos in Benue. There are Igbos in Bayelsa. There are Igbos in Cross River. There are Igbos in Akwa Ibom. There are Igbos in River State. All these states they are denying they are not Igbo because of Biafra story. I've never seen a Muslim deny that it's not a Muslim because of terrorist group that is inside Muslim. I have never seen a Nigeria deny that it's not Nigeria because they say Nigerians are crook and 419. If you are proud to say you are a Nigerian, despite the fact that the whole world see you as a Yahoo person, why can't you be proud to say you are Igbo man? Even though people are saying that they don't like you to be Biafra. Yes, I'm a proud Igbo man, on Chubo precisely, from Delta State. Proud Igbo man. Even though not all of us are supporting Biafra, even to today, not everybody in Britain are supporting Brit exit from Europe. Not everybody supported it, even to today. But would they say they are not proud English? They are proud Britannians. I'm a proud Igbo man, even though I'm not supporting Biafra. But you are not supporting Biafra doesn't mean that you should deny Igbo. You should have a reason why you are saying you are not. I know that 99% of those who are angry when people say I'm Igbo is because they are thinking everybody is talking about Biafra. And I don't fucking send you. If you like, if you are not comfortable with me saying I'm Igbo and I'm in Delta, you can go and hug Transformer. Kill yourself, I don't care. If you like, start a war. Kill your family for saying that I said that you're Igbo. I don't care. I'm a proud Igbo man. But if you're Igbo, deny your origin because of one small thing that people say that Igbo did in the past, may thunder fire you. May you not be well with you. May your children also deny not to know you. And may your family deny you for any small bad thing where you do. May your family deny you. If you think that Biafra agitation is a bad thing to Nigerian system, may people deny you for that bad thing. For any small bad thing where you do, may people deny you. I'm a proud Igbo man. I don't support separation of Nigeria, but I can't deny being a Nigerian man because you want to call me Biafra. If you like, hug Transformer, I don't fucking care.
Thank you, brother from Onuchibo. Igbo from Onuchibo. Thank you. So the reason why I play this again, because for those that think that Igbos are only in 5 states, for those that think that Igbo are only in 5 states, this is the reason why I played this video for the second time. The same way we have Ijo in Rivers State, the same way we have Ijo in Egbema side, the same way we have Ijo in Bayelsa, in Cross River, in Delta, in Ondo, in Edo. That was the same way we have Igbo in Benue, in Kogi, in Ebonyi, in Imo State, in Anambra, in Abia State, in Delta, in Edo, in Bayelsa, in Rivers, Iguacha, in Calabar, in Cross River, in Bayelsa. The same way we have Igbos there. They are our brothers. They are Igbos. So for those of you that always say that anytime they see our people going there to interview them, they say we want to grab land. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. And be honest for once. Now, this brings me to the last video I'm going to play here today.
Which secession by the Igbo represents their popular choice. Nigeria has had to fight 2 terrible wars to preserve the country. The North has paid its dues in that war, and indeed in many ways throughout the history of our country. Under our current circumstances, no Nigerian should welcome another war to keep this country together. The North in particular has more than enough challenges, and we recognize that violent secession by any part of Nigeria will compound the problems of all Nigerians under which we live. The forum has arrived at the difficult conclusion that if support for secession among the Igbo is as widespread as it is being made to look, and Igbo leadership appears to be in support of it, then the country should be advised not to stand in its way. It will not be in the interest It will not be the best choice for the Igbo or Nigerians to leave a country we have all toiled to build and a country we all have responsibility to fix. But it will not help a country already burdened with failures on its knees to fight another war to keep the Igbo in Nigeria.
What? This is another prophecy of Maznan Kanu from film. Maznan Kanu said the day will come, the Northerners will be asking Biafra to go. Will be asking Biafra to go. So, point of collection, the chairman of Northerner Elderly Council. Don't use Igbos. You're supposed to use Biafrans, okay? Use the word Biafrans. And if you guys are honest in what you're saying, if not games that you guys want to play, push it up to the Senate House. Mazina Kanu should be released tomorrow. Released our leader Mazina Kanu. That's all. I hope that I hope you are feeling the heat. And if you are not feeling the heat, you will not make this statement. Your people also feeling the heat. Your people are also feeling the heat. That is why you guys are crying today. That's why you guys are crying. Biafra or nothing. Biafra or nothing. So I want to use this media to pass a message to the Nigerian government that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu should be released before 15th of December or even 15th of December. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu should be released. He committed no crime. He is a freedom fighter. He committed no crime. As a matter of fact, 2 courts have set him free. 2 courts in Nigeria have set him free. So he should be released. So to my fans and my viewers out there, I thank you all for listening. Despite our guests went out, maybe the network. I don't know what actually happened, but he never came back. He never came back again, or maybe some other time, or maybe the truth is overwhelming. They have nothing to say about it. I don't know, but in whichever way, we have debunked the lies out there. We have debunked the lie that the 1966 coup was an Igbo coup. Like as I always said, that British government knows about the coup, and it was state managed by them. This is my own objective. But the fact is that what the military measures that participated in it have a nationalistic movement, have a nationalistic mind, just to salvage Nigeria. And it will turn around and target Igbo coup. And our people were slaughtered in millions. Our people were slaughtered in millions. On this note, I will say media soul never rest until Biafra is restored. May their soul never rest until Biafra is restored. And Biafra shall be restored. On this note, onye afọ tata ka afọ echi, ndụ nwoke ndụ nwanyị, mmiri ata na azụ anwụra. Ofu ogologo ndụ ka m na-agụrụ onye isi Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. O jerigo, ọ ya natalụ, ndụ nka. Ọ bịara egbu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ya egbu onwe ya. Onye si na isi Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-agwa ya eji isi ya wee chụọ aja. Asị m ekene dịrị unu. Mbọsị Eke, mbọsị Oye, mbọsị Afọ, mbọsị Nkwọ. So
Allora, se guardiamo le abito che sono messo a negozio, queste due bandine avanti, sono flag di bianco, bandiera di bianco, per protestare quella che sta succedendo in Biafra, per chiedere la libertà del nostro capo, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, e il referendum dei biafrani.